So good.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Hello and welcome everybody to Angora Poets World Cafe on this Sunday evening, January 9th, 2021, the year where many of us don't mind the new year passing.
22.
Oh, well, 2022. Okay, correct me. I'm still stuck in last year. All right. So, yeah, it's 2022. And here we are to do some poetry. And we're going to start off with 7 of us this evening and see who comes in. And I'd like to present our first poet, we affectionately and notoriously called the Judge. And he's sitting right here in Paris, and he's Bill Strangmeyer. So, Bill, you are on.
Thank you, Mo. Tonight, I'm not going to read my own stuff. I'm going to read poems by my friend Peter Lamborn Wilson, who is one of my oldest friends, my second oldest friend that I still have. Okay, first, ideally, I'd like to be an intensely local poet of the kind that publishes in the town newspaper's Poetry Corner, remembered fondly by the county historical society and recited at Grange picnics, perhaps a pageant for the public elementary school, or an epic printed privately for the author still to be found on the shelves of the village library, where the old lady tells anecdotes about my bouts of alcoholism, but represses the other scandals which were never proved anyway. Every once in a while, a strange phrase will jump off the page and stick with you like a personal memory. Okay.
Number 2, Billy. That was all right.
Yeah. And this one again by Peter Lamborn Wilson. It's called Pear Cider. Nothing compares to watching a slice of the cusp between August and September drift by with wilted and riverine in-betweenness. Algae on the marsh and herons on the march. Fallen black walnuts smelling of expensive soap. Drinking pear cider in some sylvan reserve nestled, as the real estatists say, beyond the reach of weed whackers. Ancient civilizations come to value these evanescent, untransmissible little epiphanies over the grander, grimmer peaks of history and passion. But ours is an age grown old too quickly that learned these lessons a bit too late.
That's what it seems like these days. A bit too late. Okay, Billy, number 3, please.
Okay, it's called Rhizomes. There's an anonymous American Indian saying, "Why don't you white people get a religion of your own?" Poet. Possible previous reincarnations flashing past the train from Mallow to Cork, a dwarfish folklorist et fucking cetera, in a soft green light on the late Chalcolithic, maybe in the astral body, barbarian clouds, the bardic ritual of bacon and cream. We got this special yoga for willing suspension of disbelief, well water that will save, lave, bathe, and quench your yen for slow-mo geomantico-mesmeric fits. Pretty soon you'll come to feel cattle are the only true wealth, that they're holding down the edge of the scenery and propping up the sky. Photographs of fairy artifacts in Bewley's Oriental Coffee House, with holes in their Neoplatonic shoes and socks. In the pub, the very shadows dark as porter in a surge of tears, the hereditary piper and I pissed as newts in the ancient mud of Wicklow, citizens of a sunken reality that appears once every 7 years, just offshore to the west. All religions are ghost shirt religions.
Whoa, 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 whoa. All right.
My friend Peter.
So he's Irish, and apparently he lives in County Wicklow, south of Dublin, huh?
No,
You know,
he's American. He's American. We were best friends in high school.
Well, his references to Cork and Wicklow and, the pub thing. Okay.
He's a traveler and a reader.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, good. Well, all right. So you know this guy, or
We were best friends in high school. Yeah,
okay. All right.
one of my
Good.
oldest friends.
Well, what if he's contact him and bring him on with poetry like that? Would be interested.
He doesn't have a computer and he will not get one.
Okay,
And
got it.
he only has a landline.
Okay, all right. Okay, good enough. Well, thanks, Bill. All right, so by the way, people, I just checked my Angora Poets uh, uh, invitation page that you all got. And I just identified that I inscribed every number correctly. Okay, I just read it off right. So I don't know what's going on with, Facebook is a platform that sends the invitations. So I checked it very thoroughly as Bill started reading, and I have every numeral down correctly. So I don't know. I'm glad people remember to check what they knew was a different ID and password code. That's a drag, but I did check it. And so now I want to check our next poet, who we call the griot, because he gives history and humor right out of his poetry. And so this is Ngoma Hill. How are you, Ngoma? We know you didn't come here to tap dance, to quote your book. Gotta unmute.
Aha. Now you can hear
Aha.
me, right? So I didn't know what to read, Here's a new poem. There's been a rash of young Black men committing suicide all during 2021. And in August, my grandson committed suicide. And I've been trying to rationalize it, but I can't really. It's a hard thing to deal with. So I ended up writing this short poem, and the poem is called Abiku. And
How old was your grandson?
He was 21.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, we're listening, Ngoma.
And anyway, so I wrote this poem. It's called Abiku. And Abiku is a child that was born to die. I know that sounds kind of harsh. Some people just aren't meant to be here. They have other reasons why they don't want to. They have one foot in one world and one foot in the other world, and they're called Abiku. And
okay, how do you spell that? Is that one word? Or?
Abiku.
Abiku. How did that come as that phrase, that spelling?
How is it? It's Yoruba.
Okay, and it's called Abiku.
Abiku.
Thank you. All right, we're listening, Ngoma.
Abiku. Here today, mission accomplished, gone tomorrow. Left us wondering why you left so soon. We hardly knew you. Guess you gave all you came here for, preferring the world of spirit, your heavenly companions call. Now we greet you amongst the ancestors. We pour libations, leave a cracked plate of food on your altar, trying to understand the lessons that you gave. One day, we may understand why you're gone so early, but as for now, see you next lifetime. The soul has no beginning and no end. We'll look for you in the whirlwind. So anyway, that was my first way of trying to deal with it. That's the first time I wrote a poem about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'll write another one, but anyway,
no. This spate of suicides, this spate of suicides among young Black men is counter to the history of Black American men, which is to say the sociologists, whoever, would always say, and the comics, Black men don't commit suicide. If we go down, it's by other means, but we are not suicide people, because And the main justification is we grew up under hard times. So your market crash or whatever doesn't bump us as hard because we have immunity. All right. So what do you think here, Angora? What are they saying about this this unexpected wave of suicides?
I haven't heard anybody saying anything about it except that it's happening. Nobody seems to know why. So what's going on with it?
It's as it happens, I was reading a short story today that is it begins with parents going to visit their son who is described as incurably deranged and in a sanitarium, and they arrive. It's his birthday, and they arrive and they find that he has in fact tried to kill himself. And so then there occurs a paragraph later in the story in which the writer says the last time the boy had tried to do it, his method had been, in the doctor's words, a masterpiece of inventiveness. He would have succeeded had not an envious fellow patient thought he was learning to fly and stopped him in time.
Wow.
What he had really wanted to do was to tear a hole in the world and escape.
Wow. Okay. Well said. All right, number 2, Angoma.
Okay, let's see. I really didn't just choose stuff. I'm just gonna open a book and whatever poem comes up. Here it is.
Yeah.
This is from I Didn't Come Here to Tap Dance. It's called A Scream of Silence. There's a subtle scream of silence permeating the air from the pulpit of those that wave the stars and bars and scowl behind the holy babble that was never read, threatening to defy the Constitution, sending the military to fight those who come in peace, to mourn the death of civility, hoping to bury Jim Crow, planting flowers of peace and justice on the grave. But there are low-flying choppers hovering over the White House, sweating strange conversations in the bunker in the basement, and a new wall being built in Chocolate City, not Mexico, as the offsprings of the rainbow shine their light into the darkness. Soldiers and policemen take a knee. But like my brothers and sisters in Missouri, show me, because the slave catchers evolved to killer cops. We defy curfews and pandemics with our hands in the air. Children of the rainbow surround the planet like a group hug. But don't forget, we've had these kumbaya moments before. Will it be different this time?
All right. All right. There's a message there, a real message. Okay. All right. So you want to give us Three's a Charm, Angoma?
Anatomy of a Lynching. Contemporary sketches of America. Bloody Monday, June 8th, 1998. Phone rings 2 minutes before my alarm. The usual sexy voice on the end of my phone frantically says, "Didn't you listen to the news? Didn't you hear about Jasper, Texas? A Black man, James Byrd Jr., beaten and dragged from the back of a truck." Damn, that's a hell of a way you got to wake up a brother, I said. One of them had white supremacist tattoos and was talking trash about the Turner Diaries. Claimed they found my man's body parts along the road for 2 miles. When the truck stopped, he was headless. Must be that Jack Daniels and Budweiser, rednecks pissed. You know they go crazy when they drink that shit. Start killing their mamas and raping their daughters and barking at the moon, setting examples for their kids. The Black mayor and his cronies claimed they didn't know anything about any white supremacists in the area and that it was an isolated tragedy. I suppose that's why Brother Man is the mayor, because he don't know about secret societies, so secret they're on the internet. Maybe Jasper, Texas didn't get that yet. Local citizens say racism is as much of Jasper's death. The cracker that killed him had a favorite hymn, "Take my hand, precious Lord." Suppose God told him to do it. Scriptures say strange shit when read through the bottom of a bottle. Damn, you got a hell of a way of waking up a brother. Can we start again? Good morning. I love you.
Wow. Wow. I remember that incident. Wow. Okay. And that's in your book.
From I Didn't Come Here to Tap Dance.
Yeah. And where can we find that book? When
Get
do we
it on
get to it?
Lulu. can get it on Lulu,
Okay,
lulu.com. Just put it,
all right.
go there and just put in my name or put in the title. I didn't come here to tap dance. You can get it on
Yes.
Amazon too, but I ain't really pushing Amazon because they rip people off.
Well, why, what, is there an advantage for you or for us on Lulu?
It's an advantage for me.
How so?
Well, if you buy it on Amazon, I get $1.89. If you buy it on Lulu, I get $8.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
So
cool.
are people, is it print on demand, Lulu?
Yeah. Yes.
So do you just turn in a manuscript to them? I mean, I have books on Amazon, but I like this Lulu percentage.
Yeah. Yeah, you just turn in a manuscript.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Okay,
But Amazon's a ripoff, boy.
tell me about it. I
I
didn't
didn't really realize. What happened is also when you do it on Lulu, Lulu also puts it on Amazon, you know, and a bunch of other places. But still, when you buy it on Amazon, I
Right.
only get a couple of bucks, you know. But if it
Yeah, I got you.
go straight to Lulu, then I, you know.
Okay, clear cut advantage for us.
Yeah.
That's good information. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you for your poetry tonight, Angoma, and best of success for your book.
Thank you.
You know, I didn't come here to tap dance, and you know, any one of us who can do a successful self-publishing, more power to him and her, because we've discussed Amazon and Spotify and even YouTube enough. If you can put it out there, indie, you know,
Mhm.
more money for you.
Yep.
Okay, well, thank you, Angoma. And
Thank
now,
Yeah, and
Now,
Goma always has this kind of way that he recites his poems, and it resounds a lot.
okay.
So well done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and Benedicta is our on-screen critic. You know, she will weigh in on people. She don't mess around. You won't hear Benedicta say, that was interesting. That ain't Benedicta's point.
Okay.
Yeah, Benedicta shoots from the hip. Okay, good enough. All right, so let's move back over here to Paris here and bring on our poet here, Claire Andriani. Claire, you are on.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. I have one simple poem that I wrote on Christmas Eve, whose title is Christmas Eve, and my impression of the night that night, how I felt and how lights were on. And okay, Christmas Eve. The Christmas tree illuminates the room warmly, humbly. The coal whistles outside and collides with the warmth of our hearts. It's Christmas Eve. Young children will be forgiven for their sins, and a new beginning is promised at midnight, the end of the evening. Toys, laughter, food, everyone is invited to celebrate the promise of a new song, one of hope and love, one of beauty and soul. The wide eyes of friends look like oceans, and the snow reflects on their pupils. It falls and falls while their hearts fill with whiteness. The sweet music lulls the cold babies, warmed up by the sound of mirth. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Don't forget to celebrate the arrival of a new day, made of 1,000 promises to make yourself better, to follow your path proudly, and let yourself be enchanted with an endless Christmas songs. Merry Christmas. So that was my first one.
Okay. Another person leaning positive into this year. I've been hearing a lot of people saying this year people are feeling positive. That's that's refreshing. Do you have a second one, Claire?
Yes.
Good.
This one is a love poem that I wrote looking at my lover sleeping. So, lover, friend, lover, mostly lover. And it's called Innocence. It was also written on December the 24th. I look at you and I trust every bit of you. Your eyes are closed like the ones of a dead angel, and you dream in the silence of night. Your breathing is like a soft promise of love and innocence. Your face is like the one of a child, pale and appeased. You trust in everything with your mouth half open and drink the air with peace and purity, like a newborn or reproachless child, dreaming of yellow lands lit by an eternal forgiving sun. You are grateful for having inherited a soul as precious as the calm sea, gently breathing in the rhythm of certainty and softness. You are the embodiment of love. Every particle surrounding you is made of love, this precious thing you haven't even been taught, but master like a king, like a baby tiger, unaware of his flaws. Like it, your instincts haven't corrupted your soul yet. You are oblivious of what evil is, can't hear it, and dream dreams of delight, young soul, young mind, unmarked by envy, so far from the experience of doubt, so far from being touched by the crooked hand of evil, this deceitful thing that has the power to transform down into barbed wire, caresses into nightmares, this muscle that changes light into darkness and whispers in your ears desires you had never had before. The voice of lust, envy, that sings songs of revenge in your sleep once you have been exposed to another corrupted mind, one that could change you forever. But now you are as pure as light, alone, isolated from the garden, as innocent as youth, and nothing can harm you, for you are, in the eyes of God, protecting you, celebrating you, as though you were the only human on this earth, the only infant promised to a great future of rare innocence.
No, wow. That must have made someone feel very happy.
I
I
didn't
mean,
read it. I didn't read it to that person.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. That was certainly an homage, if you will.
Yeah.
Grand homage. All right. And you wrote that Christmas Eve.
Yes.
Okay. Were you infected in the holiday spirit, giving, sharing, joy, things like that?
Yes, absolutely.
Why not? Why not? All right. Good. Okay. So do you have threes of, wow. Can you charm after that with threes of charm?
Yes, I have one
Yeah.
about so it's a dog and its master that were walking in the street, and the master looked very depressed and old and worn out, whereas the dog was like very vivid, and but at the same time you could feel that the dog was kind of like the reason why the master was living, and that's what I got from observing them. So I wrote a poem called The Dog. He advances step by step, slowly hoping for a tomorrow. He waits for his old master, limping a few feet behind. He's leading him to future, doesn't look back, he follows. His limbs are overused, sore, and yet he walks because life is guiding him. An intuition, something pushing him to continue no matter what the odds are. He looks worn out, tired of his master's existence, holding him like a wife, to the next day, to the next step, hoping for the best, surviving. They walk on this rainy day on the wet pavement that seems to have pity for them both, yet it's carrying them, always present, never failing to be there. Earth, what they walk on, seems to accept this unbearable fate. It even supports it, believing in love. Any love is worth living, is worth breathing for, is worth walking to the next house, to the next thought towards the end, when one of them will die and make the other realize how life is worth living.
Whoa, okay. Any love is worth it. Okay, great. Yeah, that's a very nice poem. Is that a recent poem as well?
Yes, I wrote it on December the 24th as well. So it's a
Wow.
creative
On a,
day.
on a holiday roll. Great. Well, that was very fine and very nice and very good of you, these poems. Thank you.
Thank you, Mo.
Thank you, Claire.
Well
ne-
done.
Thank you, Benedicta.
You're welcome.
The critics report just hit the news. All right. You don't have to buy the Daily News or the New York Post. You can get it right here. Okay. So next up, it's you, Benedicta. Benedicta, we want to call Benedicta in from Accra, Ghana. So hello, Benedicta.
Hi, Mo.
Yes.
Am I good to go?
You are good to go.
Okay. So I take the first one. The peculiar cry of the heart, stifled, no eration, fight with unending demands, voices of grief engraved in words, rooms of fierce restraints, shades with penetrating struggles for peace and freedom. That's the first one.
Okay. All right. Okay, give note to those who are struggling. Yes, indeed. Okay. Number 2, Benedicta.
Number 2 is a monoku.
All right, here we go.
Pulses and scars, woven in a niche of strapless outbursts. And I read again.
Please.
Pulses and scars, woven in a niche of strapless outbursts. That's about it.
Okay, now that last word, please help me out with that last word. Outburst.
An outburst, like an outcry, something that goes to the extreme.
Okay, good enough. All right.
Let's say you have a balloon and it goes out of hand.
Okay.
That's an outburst.
Okay. Thanks for informing us on that. How about three's a charm, Benedicta?
Okay, I take the third one. Principled and breathless, a dynasty of erratic love, the greatest gift any man could be given. Shielded, he conforms an unforgettable moment of the past. That will be all.
Okay, that will be desirable. I like those intentions. All right. Okay. Thank you, Benedicta. We'll see you in the second round tonight, hopefully with your face back on. There she is. See, Benedicta has a true pretty face behind that icon she puts up. Thank you, too. All right. Good to hear the poet and the critic once again. Okay, so now we'll come back to Paris and we'll bring on the co-editor, co-publisher of Poets Wear Prada and well-known poet here in the Paris and New York area, Jack Cooper. Jack, you're on. Well, you're muted.
Thank you. I've been trying to find a poem that I once wrote about from the top of the Empire State Building. but I can't seem to put eyes to it. I do have this, which if you give me a moment, I'm going to find it.
All right.
It was here. And well, it's it seems to have vanished from my view. So I'm going to find it elsewhere. Excuse me, I'm sorry to be like this. It's called Dared Eagle.
Okay.
And I think that it's hard to say. It's a, you've heard it before. Wait. Okay. Drum roll, please. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. This is terrible. Okay, here we go. Dared Eagle. Hold on. Okay, Dared Eagle. Here it is. I steal, it's for the new year. I steal anger from the gods, fetch it to anneal with scorn, contrive thunder to punish, rain ignore, exchange fury, flake by flake, snowbound burn in temperate fire from the cold at heart. Abhorrent holiday, when festivity omits its cause, breaks tradition like stale bread, promises, toys, possessions, precious gifts to retain in mind and hand, all let go. Finding death, last question, birth, first answer. Unweaned from most alien, human seeming relation, accepting death's confrontation, either accept or spurn entirely the end as itself, I will waste away in contrition, longing immaterial, what began with a word.
Okay. I will waste away in contrition. Oof. Did you get hijacked by the Roman Catholics?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a religious
No,
parallel
I'm still trying to get myself back.
because they have a prayer that they use called act of contrition.
Oh, yeah, I know it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jack,
So
what began with the word?
What began with a word? You know what began with a word.
You have to tell me. I don't know.
Well, I began with a word. You began with a word. The word was,
That's okay.
the word was the word. And the word
Okay.
was with
God.
New Year's evening. Upon a snow white page of purest white, of snow spread out upon a stream, an ermine mantle flowed along the place where from far away 2 strangers strayed, stopping in a dream. The ice beneath the mantle aside, above them in the blind wind, blue pines swayed. Here where years had come to die, these fitful 2 were soon amazed. They paused and listened. Suddenly it moved, lifting of itself, the mantle rolled away from where they stood, revealing what undiscovered lay beneath the ice, what flew all the while unbeknownst to troubled eyes. A sparkling sight, the sound of water rushing peacefully and swift, and with it there a watchful, placid wondering. Ah, but the two together, yes, what if?
Okay. The two together. All right. Okay. So now we're ready to hear Three's a Charm, Mr.
Okay,
Jack.
well, I wish that, I'm sorry that I can't find the piece about which has me leaping from the the Empire State Building.
Mm.
But this, in the meantime, is called The Needle in the Haystack. It was written one morning at dawn when I was returning from, a graveyard shift, editing or proofreading a legal copy.
Hmm.
The Needle in the Haystack. You love the small streets, quiet precincts, the lighted corner, the lighted window up on the corner where a tree this past Christmas still sparkles.
Hmm.
All the world made heavenly by a cup of lemon tea. Simplicity and nourishment of mere life. The bed at dawn, the waiting home, even one alone. Bare minimum, maximum, sometime can be.
Mm. Okay. What is it? The serenity of lemon tea.
Yeah, the all the world made heavenly
Mm.
by a cup of lemon tea.
There it is. Okay. All right. So these are recent. You read two recent poems tonight, didn't you?
Are you speaking to me?
Yes.
No, those were all old poems.
Oh, okay. Well, I hadn't heard two of them, so all right.
Good.
They're
I'm glad to
recent.
hear it. I mean,
They're
sometimes,
recent to.
I mean, I feel that if you have heard them already, I like to refresh your memory.
Yeah, and they were recent to my ears, and then as I've said before, with us, poetry like music is like music. A good song gets heard more than once, and the same is true for a poem. So,
I find often I can't really appreciate music or poetry until I've heard it or read it more than once.
yeah, that can often be the true experience,
Yeah.
the true reaction.
Yeah.
Right, right. They reveal more on a second or third time around. The alchemy of the poet.
Yeah,
It reveals more.
maybe you break the surface, the meniscus of the unknown.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, good. And thank you, Jack.
Well, thank you all. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mo.
Thank you, everybody. And here we go with our next poet is wow, he's an ocean and a continent away from us over here. And that would be David or Dharma Dave Wilson. Hello, good evening or good afternoon in San Francisco.
Hello.
You're on, David. You're on.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Great to be here. Spirit catcher. Spirit, soar free above the stuff of dreams and the ideas of people that seek to fix you in the place, space of what you once believed. And here's the second poem.
Well, that's characteristically short on your part. Is that a recent poem, David?
No, it's not.
Okay, good enough. And number two,
It's- so long as it's new to you. Well, that's
hey, if it's good, it's worth repeating. Anyway, number two, Dharma Dave.
okay. Charcoal Writer's Day of Harmonics. A charcoal writer writes away the day, draws word pictures with the cold embers of the nighttime fire, storytelling, wonder, memory, and conjuncture. Words written before in the distant past, near future visions of the new golden dawn. Charcoal writer pauses to recall the first time he made love to his wife in eternity. Charcoal writer, philosophy, very simple, and that is hard to remember in the chatterbox clashings of realities. Yes, in the wilderness, we were all very basic folk with gods and goddesses and space visions and space visitors and the unceasing quiet of the awesome forest. Charcoal writer was there, writing, ever writing, and telling the tale to the growing generations. The people left the forest and became fascinated with time. Charcoal writer watched it all, wrote with a computer, videographed his visions, while the chatterbox realities slushed around, confused in a gradual shift to some new awareness, a return to the forest in the guise of future selves, future spacefaring explorers of the galaxy, predicted by the charcoal writer of all times far and wide, who hugs and loves the earth and all its material and the visions of his mind.
There's a deep visionary piece. Thank you. All right, Dharma, how is Three's a Charm looking for you?
It's looking interesting. This was going to be, here's one by Walt Whitman. It's called A Noiseless Patient Spider. A noiseless patient spider. I marked where on a little promontory it stood isolated, marked how to explore the vacant vast surrounding. It launched forth filament out of itself, ever unreeling them, ever tirelessly speeding them. And you, oh, my soul, where you stand, surrounded, detached in measureless oceans of space, ceaselessly musing, venturing, throwing, seeking the spheres to connect them, till the bridge you will need to form, till the ductile anchor hold, till the gossamer thread you fling, catch somewhere, oh my soul.
Oh, okay. Follow that journey. Let us know where it ends, where the gossamer takes you. All right. Okay, Dharma, that was good. And we want to let people know that David A. Wilson has a channel on YouTube called Rorschach. You want to spell it, David?
Roarshok. There's at least one pun in there, probably more.
All right. Okay, so you can be followed on that project along with your participation here with us, and that's very good.
Rorschach.net is my website.
There it is. You got it. All right. So good. Thank you very. Was that 3?
That was 3. Absolutely
That
3.
was 3.
2 by me, 1 by Whitman.
That's this many, right? This many. Okay. So, okay, good. I get lost listening sometimes. I get lost not listening sometimes. I just get lost. Okay, thank you, Dharma David Wilson. And now, just in the nick of time for the first round, we have our female poet here from Paris, Caroline. Hello, Caroline.
Hello, Mo.
Hi,
Okay.
Caroline.
Hi, Benedicta.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, yeah. Well, let's read 3 little poems. They are very, very quiet ones.
Okay.
Let's begin with the Spanish one of Federico Garcia Lorca.
Whoa. Now give a real brief description of the poem.
It's quite a dark one. I don't remember exactly because I want to read it because the last verse is the first one of my poems. So I prefer beginning with this one. And
Okay. So we're going to hear a dark
during
poem.
the war. And well, it's named
by Federico Garcia Lorca, perhaps the most famous poet in Spanish poetry canon. Okay, go with it.
So, Nocturno del hueco. Para ver que todo se ha ido, para ver los huecos y los vestidos, dame tu guante de luna, tu otro guante de hierba, amor mío. Puede el aire arrancar los caracoles muertos sobre el pulmón del elefante y soplar los gusanos ateridos de las yemas de luz o de las manzanas. Los rostros bogan impasibles bajo el diminuto griterío de las hierbas, y en el rincón está el pechito de la rana, turbio de corazón y mandolina. En la gran plaza desierta mugía la bovina cabeza recién cortada, y eran duro cristal definitivo las formas que buscaban el giro de la sierpe. Para ver que todo se ha ido, dame tu mudo hueco, amor mío. Nostalgia de academia y cielo triste, para ver que todo se ha ido. Dentro de ti, amor mío, por tu carne, qué silencio de trenes boca arriba. Cuánto brazo de momia florecido. Qué cielo sin salida, amor, qué cielo. Es la piedra en el agua y es la voz en la brisa, bordes de amor que escapan de su tronco sangrante para que broten flores sobre los otros niños. Basta tocar el pulso de nuestro amor presente para ver que todo se ha ido, para ver los huecos de nubes y ríos. Dame tus manos de laurel, amor, para ver que todo se ha ido. Ruedan los huecos puros por mí, por ti, en el alba, conservando las huellas de las ramas de sangre y algún perfil de yeso tranquilo que dibuja instantáneo dolor de luna apuntillada. Mira formas concretas que buscan su vacío, perros equivocados y manzanas mordidas. Mira el ansia, la angustia de un triste mundo fósil que no encuentra el acento de su primer sollozo. Cuando busco en la cama los rumores del hilo, has venido, amor mío, a cubrir mi tejado. El hueco de una hormiga puede llenar el aire, pero tú vas gimiendo sin norte por mis ojos. No, por mis ojos no, que ahora me enseñas 4 ríos ceñidos en tus brazos, en la dura barraca donde la luna prisionera devora a un marinero delante de los niños, para ver que todo se ha ido. Amor inexpugnable, amor huido. No, no me des tu hueco, que ya va por el aire el mío. Ay de ti, ay de mí, de la brisa, para ver que todo se ha ido. Yo, con el hueco blanquísimo de un caballo, crines de ceniza, plaza pura y doblada. Yo, mi hueco traspasado, con las axilas rotas, piel seca de uva neutra y amianto de madrugada. Toda la luz del mundo cabe dentro de un ojo. Canta el gallo y su canto dura más que sus alas. Yo, con el hueco blanquísimo de un caballo, rodeado de espectadores que tienen hormigas en las palabras. En el circo del frío sin perfil mutilado, por los capiteles rotos de las mejillas desangradas. Yo, mi hueco sin ti, ciudad, sin tus muertos que comen, ecuestre por mi vida definitivamente anclada. Yo, no hay siglo nuevo ni luz reciente, solo un caballo azul y una madrugada.
Oof. There's a lot to unpack in that poem, but
It's
keep your loving arms around the one you love.
Mm.
All right. Okay. Well, muchas gracias. Poema en español. El segundo.
So
El
the
segundo. Excuse me.
second one will be in French, and it begins with the last verse of the other poem. En attendant l'aube, solo un caballo azul y una madrugada, seulement un cheval bleu et une aube. J'ai refermé mon livre, j'ai éteint la radio, j'ai éteint la lumière, j'ai ouvert les volets et j'ai laissé rentrer la nuit. Dans la cuisine, je ventile la vapeur à grands coups d'éventail. En attendant l'aube, je savoure l'heure bleue, l'étoile par-dessus le toit.
Okay. Wow. That was about approaching the dawn, and that in itself can often lead to a very, very, very dynamic experience in words. Thank you. Good to approach the-
Merci.
And the
Mhm.
third one, it's a very, there is a third one. It's a short one also. It's another one in the kitchen, not the same night. Outside there is a fog, and it's a smoky fog with the smell of something burned, but just like crepe. This I don't know in English the word. It's like pancakes, but
Yeah.
bigger.
We know the crap. Yeah.
Fantastic. So there is this smell outside. Le brouillard a absorbé les tours. Je regarde les chiffres dégringoler de 10 en 10 sur l'hygromètre. Au contact de l'air froid, la vapeur tourbillonne en volute et sort rejoindre la nuit. Envolée de bébés nuages nés en captivité, comment savoir ce qu'ils deviendront? On ne bac pas de l'eau. L'odeur des pâtes se mêle à celle de fumée. Ça sent les crêpes. Il n'y a pas de beurre salé à ramollir dans le buffet. Pour tout à l'heure au petit-déj. Il n'y a pas de beurrier, ni de buffet, ni de lait cru bouillu avec l'anti-montelet en verre. Samedi, on n'ira pas au marché pour en racheter. toute façon, il n'y a pas de Nesquik à mettre dedans, ni de mini passoire pour retenir la peau. Je m'en fiche. Je suis allergique au Nesquik et au lait maintenant. N'empêche, ça manque l'ambiance du marché bondé les jours de pluie.
Okay. Well, you speak of what the French like to call le petit plaisir. And one of the the little pleasures, right? The little pleasures in life, the petit plaisir. And one of the historic references for that is looking in the boulangerie and smelling the fresh baked goods of a boulangerie while observing. Yeah. So, okay. Thank you for the petit plaisir. Merci. Okay. So now it's my turn, and I'm going to do that. And what I'm going to do is, as I say, yesterday I was listening to a biographical documentary on Charles Bukowski. And so I'd like to read Bukowski and one of my poems directly influenced by Charles Bukowski. I unabashedly admit it. Okay, and this is called Nobody by Charles Bukowski. Nobody can save you but yourself. You will be put again and into nearly impossible situations. They will attempt again and again through subterfuge, guise, and force to make you submit, quit, and or die quietly inside. Nobody can save you but yourself, and it will be easy enough to fall so very easily. But don't. Just watch them. Listen to them. Do you want to be like that? A faceless, mindless, heartless being? Do you want to experience death before death? Nobody can save you but yourself, and you're worth saving. It's a war not easily won, but if anything is worth winning them, that is it. Think about it. Think about it. Saving yourself. Okay. So that's one.
It's good.
Yeah. Okay. Now here's the second one by Bukowski. And these are untitled. He did poems that were untitled. It goes. Here we go. I met a genius on the train today, about 6 years old. He sat beside me, and as the train ran down along the coast, we came to the ocean, and then he looked at me and said, "It's not pretty." It was the first time I'd realized that. So that's two by Charles Bukowski. And now I'm gonna let's see. Let me find mine for you. Okay. And now I wrote when I was reading him at Barside, like so many of us were doing in the, at least in my case, in the '80s, when poets and the common people were reading him. So this is unabashedly influenced by Charles Bukowski, and it is my poem called "The Engagement." At the bar, it was late, payday. I was shit-faced. In a booth, she sat alone. I got ideas. Poured a drink, stole a fantasy. Consumed I was in toward pleasure. Hand in hand, I saw across the arc, windblown up the sea. By torrent sweat of liquid courage, stumbling, I made my move. In a flash, she erupted. Leper, you need a doctor, and I'm not your cure. Calling back to the bar, hey, she bellowed. Guys like you stick their brains up their asshole and use their cock as a periscope. Call it charity, you poster child. Everybody in the joint howling. She was tough. a 40-pound hammer thrown squarely against a 2-penny nail. Down to double with a chaser. Humiliated, I replied, okay, smart shit, answer this. Everybody got a Jones. You know mine, what's yours? Loneliness, she replied. Sound familiar? I said, hey, babe, that's my monkey too. The whole joint froze. We just stared till she cracked a grin. I licked my lips. She lit a smoke. You could hear a pin drop. I took another shot straight up. She got beside me and sat down. I told the barman, sure as shit, give this lady one more round. She bought a 6-pack under her arm. No harm in walking me home to my place, said she. A pinball rang loudly. Somebody won the door prize. We strode to the street, side by side, in the dead of night. A stray dog loping, a stray cat stride, river rats haunched, peering through the fog. Okay, thank you. All right, so that's my poem. Influenced by Charles Bukowski, and an experience I had one night at a bar, very late. Okay, so there's a wrap on the first round, and we'll come back in a few minutes and do the second round. Okay, and okay, there we have it. So, Bill, you're up first, please. Bill Strangmeyer.
Okay, Mo, thank you. Again, this is by Peter Lamborn Wilson. I'm not reading any of mine tonight. Poem without footnotes. Certain books you open just once and you're damned, like the Necronomicon. Tunes can be haunted and bring bad luck, or visions, or both at once. Bad luck and visions at once. The forbidden is also the holy, so only those who risk both can attain either. Such a book would saturate the numinosity of its potential existence in space with a presentiality so dense as to vanish without trace. Heard in the car, heard in the air, heard in the darkness between hills, written by non-human hands, and why not? Better damned and or saved, or both at once, than not at all.
I just said, okay, all right, with that.
That's good.
All right, the review is in.
Okay, on the index. Without censorship, the heart blurts secrets for nothing, birthrights for pottage, too much yawp, too much wattage, no finesse, no English, no backspin. Use true names of things and they may possess, betray, and leave you in lurches. They may show teeth. They may be part wolf, only the nihil obstat stands between me and the abyss of clarity. Irony is my imprimatur. Doublespeak alone allows this stance oblique to all other angles. Silence is loquacious, if not eloquent. Stealth cracks the acme safe of language.
Ooh, the acme safe of language. All right, crack it open, Mr. Poet. All right, number 2, Bill.
Oh, that was number 2, wasn't it?
Was it? Oh,
Yes.
okay. Oh, okay. Like I said, I my mind wanders while I'm listening to these poems. All right.
Mo is so into the poem.
Okay.
It's okay, Mo. The themes, the titles were related.
Yeah, let me off the hook, Bill. Let me off the hook. Okay.
Man. Letting people off the hook.
Yeah. So next is Angoma. We're going to go to New York here and hear from Angoma Hill. Come on, Griot, you're on.
Yeah. Okay, so this is called Until We're Free. It's also in the book. Hadn't talked to her in a while. She's near Limerick Park. She says, "You still doing that poetry and music thing? I figured you were retired by now." A lot of folk we know just gave up on slinging rocks at Goliath. The kids all wear white t-shirts to the funeral, tribal warfare block by block that their moms pay rent for. Gang warfare is the order of the day, from the microcosm of street gangs fighting for a piece of the rock to the empire's battalions filling their bank accounts. Salesmen of war suck the blood of the poor, immigrant children in concentration camps, ghetto children in for-profit foster care, the largest prison industrial complex on the planet, like global holocaust, from micro to maximum, a bad dream reality nightmare, middle passage reincarnated, slave trade in Libya, the world's for sale to the highest bidder, bitter men, bitter men. There's a sale on black babies by the pound on the black market, Obama backlash blues, Reconstruction revisited. Nobody tell you Planned Parenthood is genocide. You could get arrested breathing while black, castrated and hanged in New York, Dixie, any place south of Canada. The real terrorists burn tiki torches in Charlottesville, use niggas for target practice after dark, heat marshmallows in the flames of cross burnings at Klan rallies, still deny clean water in Ferguson. So you ask, you still doing that poetry and music thing? Well, you better ask somebody. Obviously, nobody told you I'll be doing this until we're free.
Mhm. Okay, all right. Let the last statement, yeah, okay. Okay, resistance, we don't surrender as poets. That's right, right. So, okay, then number 2, Angora.
So I was having this conversation. This poem was written like maybe mid 80s or something. I was having this conversation with a friend of mine about what good poetry was or whatnot. So after the conversation, I wrote this poem, and the poem is called "Don't Call Me No Poet. This Ain't No Love Song." Mama taught me that prayer changes things. So I'm praying for enough steel to keep it real. Because death is the only door out of here, but we be scared to leave our bodies. This poem was kicked around long enough, wasn't supposed to last forever, and my soul cries out to be free. Besides, the only thing constant is change. So I'm sitting meditating on the one when a b-boy in his boombox scared my spirit guides away, and I'm lost in a rat race trying to buy shit my TV says I need to survive. And I'm searching for freedom, but I can't define it anymore. So I'm on a vision quest trying to find a way up out of this mess. I'm walking through the park, talking to the trees. They got a protest going on against giving up their lives for cashmere's. And the local snowmakers union won't cross the picket line until Santa kicks in with some kickback. So it's 75 degrees in New York in December. And it seemed like the whole damn universe is under attack by the greedy as they plunder the world, exploiting the needy. So I'm rolling 7 ox deep in mysticism. I meditated till the lights went out, but Con Ed wasn't hearing it. Not even an ohm could cut the darkness. So I'm burning 7 candles trying to find the light of God inside, but she's busy down at the Salvation Army healing a bell ringer who was shot by a 10-year-old white kid with a Tech 9 from Oregon. Seemed like Faith was raped of her charity and everything seems hopeless. So I'm hanging out in poetry circles trying to get the truth, but all I get is soft poems stroking my ego to erection with no satisfaction. Too many poets saying nothing well, but I'm looking for substance, something I can take home. There's not enough meat to fill a doggy bag, so I stick to vegetarianism like a religion trying to ward off starvation. I'm chanting for peace and justice, but Kevin Banks was murdered by the new weapon of choice, a killer cop's 2-way radio to the head killed them dead, no backup needed, no caution heeded. And I'm praying for Buddha. He's laying face down, spread eagle on the concrete, jacked up by 50 on the corner of 112th Street. And it seemed like the interest on karmic debt is higher than bail, so I guess he'll spend cashmere in jail. The herb spot's been shut down to improve the quality of life for street corner pharmaceuticals who offer death at half the price, while the last legal drug dealers, local watering holes like the newsroom in the Bronx, offers 3-for-1 shots of rat gut watered down, except the poets like me who are banned for using an N-word because the owner is an N-word, but alcoholism kills your liver first. And it's easy to collect from the taxes of the dead. So I scream out other obscenities instead, like poverty and imperialism equals fascism, but justice turns a deaf ear to my fears. So I'm looking for a detox for Jesus addiction. But the offering plate gets in the way because organized religion is big business, but nobody tells the poor as they pay and pray for more salvation from this hell we be living in. So Hail Mary full of gold, the Vatican's been bought and sold. Hell, we had homes and jobs before they brought us here. My ancestors built pyramids for years before picking cotton. Maybe that's been forgotten. Now I'm quoting Hakeem Adabuti saying, Jesus saves, Jesus saves, Jesus saves green stamps, but green stamps are obsolete and the poor and the homeless beg for food to eat in this land of plenty when not a damn thing is free. So don't call me no poet, because me, I'm just a pissed off brother with a pen.
Okay.
Like that.
Hail Mary full of gold, the Vatican's been bought and sold. Oh boy. Yeah. All right. Good poet, good poem, Griot. All right, thank you. Okay. So Claire sent a message in the chat box saying she has to get up very early in the morning. So she signed off to say good night and thank you. So now we're going to move to Benedicta in Accra.
Okay, hi Mo.
Yeah.
For the second round, I'm just going for 2 monokus.
Okay.
So the first one, an embrace, the words of the longing. I take it again.
Okay.
An embrace, the word of the longing.
Of belonging. Okay. All right. And number 2, another anoko.
Yes. The second one, formidable, tainted, remnants of a cloistered past. I read it again.
Yes.
Formidable, tainted, remnants of a cloistered past.
Ooh, a cloistered past. Okay. Okay, Benedicta, good to hear you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the anokos. All right. So
Welcome.
Jack got a phone call, which it wasn't too shielded. In fact, there's a work call. So that's why he dropped out, because his co-editor lives in New York, and for her, it's middle afternoon or work time. Okay, so the next poet we have up is Dharma Dave.
Okay. Let's see here. This is another. I often come to Angora Poets without any preparation. I like that it's loose that way, and we can do that. I can just kind of wing it.
Wing it, man.
And then, of course, you lose your place. All right, let's.
Is that allegory for a poet's lifestyle?
Someday. This is the year I'm going to get organized. That's my that's my resolution. I'm going to get organized. Okay.
If a poet was really organized, what the hell would they be like?
Jeez. They might rule the world.
Typically, aren't we grasping for something that's on the edge of our fingertips or the tip of our tongue that we need to express? Organized. I'm quite organized. Oh, well, what do you have to say? Nothing anymore. I'm organized.
Just around the bend.
Yeah. All right. Dharma,
here's a poem.
Here we go.
This poem is marked Graveyard.
Ooh.
Some sought information, some long sought transformation, supposed to drive my imagination. Whoa, don't you move too slow now. I got things to do, places to be, and I don't know whether I'm gonna feel as light as a feather or go pick the wild mountain thyme up around the purple heather. Sadness, melancholy floods my head. What do you seek, stranger? Pure lust, nothing more. I could roam the hills in search of ancient lore. I crackle and I pop in anticipation of my next appreciation, but brought here by a common reason. What reason? Is my perspective the only one that's bent? Only to my perspective. The half-train express, dare to progress, dare. Regress, the old game is the same. On the howling express. Well springs untapped, fasten the tap, fasten your seatbelts. We're coming in for a landing. It's like a meditation. Om Mani Padme Hum. This poem is marked graveyard. Understand the death, the other side of life, this land of truth and illusion, the smile of a gone face, the spooky apparition, the outside paradox, floodwaters, valves loosened, words rejuvenated. Fill up that space while there's still that space to fill. Trying to find the definition for this space, these various fields of energy, each here for its own reasons.
Well, each here for its own reason. Okay, good enough. Good enough. In my opinion, true enough. All right.
So
Yeah.
here's a and with a short one about lust. Young desire. The very young lady fires me up. Such a relationship could be hard, but I can't get beyond the desire.
Okay. Good. There's
David,
an
I'm
honest.
sure this desire is so robust that you can't get over it.
I still can't get over it.
Well, that was an honest account without a Lakeside Poets romantic ending. That's just simply an honest account. Thank you for that. All right. So, okay, thank you, David.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. So next we're going to go to Carolina. Carolina.
Sí, señor. Well, let's read a bilingual poem. It's a mix between extracts of poems of Federico Garcia Lorca.
Okay.
And the memories of my grandma in Madrid during the war, but at the beginning of the civil war in Spain, which was a putsch.
And which languages are you? Well, which languages are you
well,
reading?
it's a mix between Spanish extract of poems and French.
So you're going to read this in Spanish? Okay. All right.
Well,
Good enough.
It will be hard to read. And after it will be an English one of Margaret Atwood, a very...
Okay.
It's a love poem, the second one.
All right.
To calibrate. Peladillas. Los arqueros oscuros a Madrid se acercan, vienen de los remotos países de la pena. C'est pas Noël. Pourtant, il pleut des dragées, des grosses peladillas de métal. Pff, je préfère les piñones couverts de sucre. De la cueva salen largos sollozos. Elle refuse de descendre dans l'abri. Pas question de mourir enterrée vive. Si elle doit mourir, ça sera debout, libre et dehors. cómo temblaba el farol. Madre, cómo temblaba el farolito de la calle. Demain, elle n'ira pas à l'école. Elles ont fermé. Maintenant qu'elles étaient aussi pour les filles, il a fallu que ce général de malheur décide de jouer le livreur de pesadillas. Iban a un laberinto, amor, cristal y piedra. Elle doit aider maman à s'occuper des petits maintenant, les rassurer, les protéger. Elle se demande comment va sa petite sœur là-bas chez sa tante. La ville est encerclée au nord. Ça a été si vite. Ils ne peuvent pas aller la chercher. C'est pas le moment de pleurer. Alors elle fredonne une chanson d'étudiant pour se consoler. Triste y sola, triste se queda Fonseca, triste llorona, na 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 na. Elle aurait tellement aimé pouvoir défiler avec eux dans les rues. Ils vont gagner. Il le faut. Elle ira encore écouter passer la tuna et sa sœur sera avec elle. Por detrás de los grises muros no se oye otra cosa que el llanto. Y la cueva encalada tiembla en el oro. En su cabeza se enrosca una serpiente amarilla y va soñando en el baile con galanes de otros días. Là, les démons ne dansent pas au rythme des tambours et des pétards. Ils chient leur destruction sur sa ville, sa si belle ville avec sa porte de soleil. Niñas, corred las cortinas. Elle les déteste. À cause d'eux, elle doit laisser de côté ses livres. À cause d'eux, elle doit laisser de côté ses jolies robes. À cause d'eux, elle doit laisser de côté ses rêves de bal. Elle voudrait que les nuages et la fumée se changent en dragons furieux et les avalent tous. Qu'ils vomissent des éclairs, déchirent les lignes adverses, la paix. Je regarde les dragées de métal griller sa ville. Ventanitas de oro tiemblan y en la aurora se mecen cruces superpuestas. Les immeubles s'effondrent. Des blocs de pierre et des débris de verre jonchent les rues, creusées de cratères béants. Les rues sont mouillées et on dirait qu'il a plu. Ce sont les larmes d'une petite pour l'amour qu'elle a perdu. Tu ne te souviens pas quand je te disais au clair de lune, je ne veux en aimer qu'une. Et cette une, ma vie, c'est toi. Madrid. La toute fin, la petite citation là, traduite en français, c'est la fin d'une chanson qui s'appelle Fonseca et qui est une chanson étudiante traditionnelle qu'on retrouve en Espagne et dans des pays d'Amérique latine aussi.
Fonseca, le chanson.
Fonseca.
Okay.
Qui est très ironique parce que ça dit triste et seul, sad and lonely.
They don't like it. They don't, yeah, in French, it wasn't all happy from that narrator's point of view. Okay,
Yeah.
number 2, Carolina.
Number 2, so it will be a love poem from Margaret Atwood. So
Okay. All right.
It's Against Still Life. Orange in the middle of the table. It isn't enough to walk around it at a distance, saying, it's an orange. Nothing to do with us, nothing else. Leave it alone. I want to pick it up in my hand. I want to peel the skin off. I want more to be said to me than just orange. Want to be told everything it has to say. And you, sitting across the table at a distance with your smile contained, and like the orange in the sun silent, your silence isn't enough for me. Now, no matter with what contentment you fold your hands together, I want anything you can say in the sunlight. Stories of your various childhoods, aimless journeyings, your loves, your articulate skeleton, your posturings, your lies. This orange silences, sunlight and hidden smile, make me want to wrench you into sand. Now I crack your skull like a walnut, split it like a pumpkin to make you talk or get a look inside. But quietly, if I take the orange with care enough and hold it gently, I may find an egg, a sun, an orange moon, perhaps a center of all energy resting in my hand, can change it to whatever I desire it to be. And you, man, orange afternoon, lover, wherever you sit across from me, tables, trains, buses, if I watch quietly enough and long enough, at last you will say, maybe without speaking, there are mountains inside your skull, gardens and chaos, ocean and hurricane, certain corners of rooms, portraits of great grandmothers, curtains of peculiar shade, your deserts, your private dinosaur, the first woman, all I need to know. Tell me everything just as it was from the beginning.
Wow, that's a journey around a table with an orange on top. All right. Oh, she spun that out. I'll tell you what. All right. Thank you, Carolina, for giving that to us in Spanish, French, and English tonight. Very nice. Well, all right. So it's me. And because I've been hearing Garcia Lorca, why don't I render two of his poems in English? I like reading him in Spanish, but I think the translations of him stand up well, because of his status in the poetry world. He had good translators. So here's one that's called Stigmata of Love. Now, the stigmata, right, is when it's this sort of dark miracle where you actually bleed through your hands, sometimes your feet, as Jesus did. So this is called the Stigmata of Love. This light, this fire that prays, this gray scape that surrounds me, this ache caused solely by one sole idea, the anguish of heaven, of earth, of our. This blood cry, this blood that adorns iris, now without pulse, slippery firebrand, this weight of the sea that batters me, this scorpion that nests inside my head. Love's garland they make and bed for the wounded, where without sleep I dream you present among the ruins of my chest, caved. And though I seek to the summit of good sense, your heart lays out a valley sown with hemlock and passion for bitter science. Wow.
That's great.
Yeah, that's Lorca. Okay, now here's another one of him. And this is, where to go? Okay. Well, that's Bukowski. Wait a minute, let me get it. Okay. So here's it. Caroline, you like to do love poems, and you like Garcia Lorca. So here's a love poem from Garcia Lorca, uh, in his way of expressing love. It's called It's True. The pain it costs me to love you as I love you. For love of you, the air it hurts, and my heart and my hat, they hurt me. Who would buy in from me this ribbon I am holding and this sadness of cotton white for making handkerchiefs with, i.e., the pain it cost me to love you as I love you. There we go. There we go. So I have a question before we go off. I knew that Garcia Lorca supported the independence movement in the Guerra Civil, the Spanish Civil War, and I knew he seemed to support the leftists. In fact, he did, in fact. And he was executed for, by a firing squad for not shutting up with his poetry. Okay, so my question
And
is this,
I
Caroline.
think he died for his homosexuality also.
Okay.
He was
Yeah.
left politically at left for republic, for just for republic also.
Yeah.
More than
Okay.
anything, it was a military putsch. So
Yes, we know. Okay, so here's my question. Anyway, here is my question, because we know he died of a firing squad, and he did not recant the very last moment of life. Because of his association with left-wing led revolutionary struggles in Spain, I hear a lot of language in him about God and Jesus. Was he a religious man, Caroline? You seem to know somewhat about him.
well, it's hard to answer for someone else. I think it's we can find Catholic symbols in his poems, so
Right.
I think so. But I think maybe just like my grandpa and grandma, they trusted in Virgin and in Jesus and in religious things, but not they weren't according to church at this time, which was
Yeah.
at right. Well, it
Okay.
wasn't a real
That's good.
military, but
That's good. We're not
Catholic.
going to do a history of Christianity at the moment. I was just curious about Garcia Lorca, because his references, like that poem, The Stigmata, we know that's clearly an image, a Christian image. Okay, I was just
So
curious.
most of them, they follow doctrines rather than being a religious group of people. So maybe he could have been surrounded by doctrines and beliefs of his own, but he might not have been a staunch Christian.
Okay. Well, there we go. There's some information on my curiosity about Garcia Lorca. So that
I was
wraps
just
up.
looking up, and he was only 38 years old when he was killed.
Yeah, he was very young.
It's a damn shame.
Yeah. Yeah, I sometimes forget that he was also persecuted because of being homosexual, about being gay. Because
I think it's both things. They were
right. I'm just saying that for the first impressions that come to me was his solidarity against fascism and so forth, and the two are not mutually exclusive, obviously. Sexuality and genre is not exclusive of any ideology. So, okay. Well, what a heroic figure. Well, those are 2 rounds, people. And that was a roundabout very good session. And, on behalf of all of us, I'd like to thank Bill and then Goma and Claire and Benedicta and Jack and David. So thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you very much, everybody. Also,
it's
always welcome.
Okay, good to see you back again. And so I'm going to sign off now and wish you all the best, and glad that we're hearing positive outlooks for the coming year, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
going to be nice to share some of it with you all. So that's a positive thing, right?
Yeah.
There.
And although we did not swim from the Titanic when it was sinking, and although we didn't have to run from the house on fire, we are survivors. We are survivors. I mean, this virus showed up as fatal to anybody at any age, and then it modified itself, and we've gotten through now, what is this, 22 months of what will be known as a very historic period. the people of the COVID. Tell us about it, Grandpa. Grandpa, wake up and tell us about it.
Don't want to know. It's so boring.
Give Grandpa a cookie and maybe he'll tell you about it. Come on, Grandpa, what was COVID like? Did it disfigure your face?
They wouldn't want to have.
But, okay, so yeah, it will be.
Benedicta, you're a fan of nightmares?
Sort of.
Yeah, well,
Wish you all tremendous.
I like
nightmares.
watching horror movies, so it seems there's always nightmares attached to it.
Maybe just try to look to Spanish horror movies from 80s and 90s, 80s
I shall be
period.
able
There
to
was
sleep
so
the whole
many
night.
horrible
Yeah.
sketch
I'm not
period.
sure I'll be able to survive it throughout the night.
An Indians one.
Well, I have this observation to make. Since COVID, 21 months ago, I have never recalled having so many dreams. So many dreams. And now, of course, that means that I recall remembering, but that is a fact. I'm getting 2 and 3 dreams a night, and some dreams are repeating themselves, and some are comforting. I wish they were within my expectations. Some are very discomforting, which is, oh no, I couldn't find my way home. I got lost in my own family house. Suddenly she told me, no, we're not going to kiss. I'm leaving you now. Things like that. And I'd wake up and go, Jesus, Jesus creamers.
Save me.
And a couple of those dreams were, wow, see what went by me in romance a long time ago. Now, in a dream that I wake from, that was going on in a dream as if it was once again happening. Those are dreams of romantic flight and gratitude. Anyway, so I'm having a lot of dreams, and I can only explain it by saying they began with COVID. I guess not enough external distraction. So the mind goes to work on what's really in there in the back room.
Maybe
Y'all
it
can
takes
free up a
time
little
to clean out every nightmares you stocked inside, and doing things all the time. And after the crisis, you will be as a new man reborning to life. And
well, that sounds good.
It's coming, so.
That sounds good, but I won't be surprised to return to certain dreams that are frustrating. Like I said, I'm the guy that, okay, I'll drive everybody home. What kind of dream is this? Now I don't know where I'm going. So there you go. I get dreams like that. And again, visiting my former neighborhoods in the mean streets of East End Pittsburgh, and being real glad to be among people I grew up with, on street corners and church bazaars, the bit. And then suddenly walking into a house and going, I don't know where I'm at. What happened to this house? So I don't know what all that means. I checked out dream interpretation as a result. And one spokesperson disagrees with the other dream interpretation. Freud disagrees with Jung, and everybody since Freud and Jung's disagreement continue to disagree.
Well, you can just get a dream book and use it to bet.
And play the numbers, right? Like the folks used to do. Yeah, go see the bookie. So anyway, and like Garcia Lorca, I am somebody that had a dream that goes against all my cognitive mindset, which is that had an angel in it. And here I am saying, well, angels are a nice representation of what people thought was in the in the heavens, and I don't particularly have a faith in that. And then I dream of very intimately of a saving angel.
Oh, that's
So
so
I
annoying
have-
when that happens, I think. I don't believe in this crap. Then they show up.
Anyway.
And are you pregnant now?
Yeah, that would be something, huh? That would be something. Okay. All right. Okay. So on that happy note,
Maybe we can name you Tobia.
yeah. Sure, Caroline.
Have you been watching Blacklist, Caroline?
Hmm?
Have you been watching Blacklist on TV?
No,
It's a series.
never.
And the last show I saw, there was an evil woman who would kidnap men who had harmed women in their youth and cut their bellies open so that they could give birth to a baby.
Ooh.
Oh, that's so weird.
Whoa, I like that. I like that. Look, Benedicta, I'm a fan of mostly all the vampire movies. I really like them. And and some of them vampire movies, I found that those vampires very seductive guys. And of course, you know, they had these almost idyllic women they were seducing. Now I liked all that mystery. And then I saw American Horror Story, which I really liked. I thought that was great.
It
So-
looks sort of like how Dracula is in Halloween.
Yeah, but Dracula appears in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and he's not all that attractive.
Really? I had to watch.
He has to look scary
Extremely seductive,
to
but not
fit
attractive.
his name. Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm surprised I missed that because my children, you know, watched that faithfully. What was it? Every Friday night on French television
It's on
years ago.
again. It's on again.
Mm.
Oh,
Okay.
you have to stop watching them or they'll start chasing you in your dreams. You see
No,
a
I don't have-
vampire with blood all over.
Nah, in my dreams,
you.
Buffy loves me and she protects me.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're safe,
really?
Phil.
And I'll tell you what,
You didn't say.
I don't get nightmares after seeing vampire dreams. Not at all. Somehow they speak to the morbid side of me. You see, everybody has well, I'll admit, I'm one of many people that also have a negative side. But one of them is certain forms of painful pleasure and morbidity are attractive at a distance, which is to say, in a movie, in a television series. So I get into it and lavish it, and I don't get nightmares from it. I get nightmares from insecurities and fears I have in my own subconscious from my younger life experience.
Yeah.
Not,
Oh, then that's nice.
yeah, that's nice. You see, I'll never be organized, Carolee. Somebody said there, they're gonna get organized. If I ever get organized, I won't have shit to be worried about. And therefore, I ain't writing no more goddamn poems.
Your nightmares make you happy, huh, Mo?
Right.
No, I say that because I'm doing EMDR, you know, with the movement of the eye.
Oh yes,
therapy,
yes.
and it fixes problems, very ancient problems, and it's taking it from your memory, your short memory, traumatic, and push it in the other side of the memory, the long memory, and so there is more. Il y a plus de place dans la mémoire récente, and it's nice because I'm recovering. Well, je peux avoir plus de place pour mettre encore plus de bordel dans ma tête.
Voilà. Yeah, more things to come, right? Plus de bordel dans ma tête, more shit to come in my head. Yeah, that's cool. You see, and I believe through reading biographies and my own existence that virtually most of us that turn out to be artists, and that includes poets, are people who had troubled early life. that's what the psychologists and sociologists claim about us poets and other artists. And some go on this, like Bukowski, who in the hell writes an interesting poem who never had to really work in the real world? They just sit on their ass and dream things up for amusement. Now, I'm not attacking everybody who does that, but there's a grain of truth. Who has not written meaningful poem to self and others, who has not experienced trauma, which agitates us to resolve it through artistic expression.
You're not going to be like some damn princess who gets a bruise when the pee's under 20 mattresses, right?
No, not me.
That's not us.
No, that's not us. So, okay. So I'm going to wish you all well and want everybody to thank everybody. So thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you,
everybody.
Bye.
And, bye.
Night, nightmares.